You. It's so good to see you this evening for AfroEconomics Live. Please be sure to share this discussion that we'll have tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. Every Wednesday night, we do the AfroEconomics Live, indeed. And some of the members are gracious enough to come into the studio with me, and I appreciate that. I never know who I'm going to be blessed with, but it is always a blessing. I don't want anybody to feel under pressure, but I certainly appreciate Star spending some time with me this evening. It is so good to just think about our financial goals for a while. I hope that everybody is having like a wonderful week. It was strange because Wednesday came so quickly, didn't it? Because of having Monday this off. This is the week of 2/22, 2022. That was yesterday. Today is 2/23, 2022. But I thought to myself on 2/22/22 that, hey, that really is like that's it. But isn't every day really? They say like this is the only time. This is You'll never have this day again or something like that. But if you think about it, every day is uniquely that day. I mean, we're not going to ever experience February 23rd, 2022 either. How wonderful would it be if we actually celebrated every day because we knew and realized how unique the opportunity is to have that day? And I mean, it's crazy. Like the numbers don't have to be what makes our day significant. How about what we do, the service, the love that we share? Like let's make something special to every day, because this year uniquely I have seen it. I don't know if everybody has seen this, but I've seen some really powerful people go through some serious challenges this year, with and I say that specifically, I'm referring to health challenges. So I just wanted to know, like, when I was kind of about to go on the air, I had to check on one of our members, and she was saying she was on her way to the emergency room and under the instruction of an oncologist. And a lot of times I think it's easy for us to take things for granted. So I encourage you, Miss Daniels, to really know that I appreciate you today, that I appreciate your time. Snoopy D, greetings right back at you. Look at that. Rosita, right back at you. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. You should have taken over the Wendy Williams show, Rosita. Ladies and gentlemen, just like a show host. But you're not in the studio. So I have show hosts that certainly could have taken over the Wendy Williams show, like Miss Sanders, Star, Star. Y'all can do this thing. I don't know what Star. Yeah, look at that. How about that? What's the lady's name that's taking over the Wendy Williams? They're gonna call it Sherry, right? Something like that. Is it Sherry Shepherd? But I think so. She's taking over the show. They're gonna call it Sherry. They could call it Star and Gertie show. So thank you. Thank you. Good evening right back at you, Mr. Johnson. Y'all know Mr. Johnson? He's a member of AfroEconomics, and he's considering moving from Northeast to Southeast because he wants to be in warm weather. So he keeps posting on social media all these beach shots, all this stuff. And I'm like, but little do you know, Mr. Johnson, in the Northeast, we are having warm weather this week too. It's almost like we just need the ocean. That's all. And we would have it all right here. But one thing that he posted today, it was about he said, I pray that you all have more fun. And I said, that is so true. If you all were like on my side of the fence and you would see how blessed you are, like, but I challenge us to not really wait until you see something horrible. They say that people like to watch talk shows because it makes them feel, what I mean? Like, wow, at least my life's not that bad. They watch Dr. Phil and it's just like, oh, but instead, let's just like seriously appreciate and have fun right in what we have, because I think when I said like let's talk about the market, it makes you realize the lack of control over so many things that we have. And that if we get really caught up with, good evening, right back at you, Miss Charles, on that we have to control everything, it can create a lot of stress, and then the fun stops. So one thing I want to just remind everyone of, like, my philosophy is that you always have to understand your risk tolerance. You always have to understand your investment decisions. You have to understand liquidity of things that you decide to put your money in. You have to make sure that you understand, if you are in something that's too volatile for you and it's going to cause you stress. Because if you don't get to enjoy the long-term growth potential, then there was no reason, it's not even worth it for you to mess with it. Because there are certain things like the stock market that is their long-term investments. Even though, you see a lot of on television and people kind of, talking about, and people that aren't licensed, that don't work as advisors, telling you about, daily moves and, buying in and selling it out an hour later and things like that. It happens. But is that the way you want to live your life? That's a decision. But that's, not what we're discussing. What we're talking about is just, staying informed, taking managed risks, and making intelligent decisions with our hard-earned resources. You got anything to share, Ms. Sanders, before I get started? How you feel? How you doing, Star? What you gonna say, Ms. Sanders?
No, really good.
You look great. How about you, Star?
It's good to see you all tonight.
Oh, you so sweet. Last time, you never know who's watching. Because last time this lady told me, I know Star. I know that lady Star. I said, oh, really? Star's a star. I said, okay. So you never know. So if anybody else in here, Star, like, come on, look, let us know in the comments. Hey, I know Star. How you doing? Oh, Joe Biden's in here. No, that's Joe Barton. Oh, he said okay, Mr. Barton, you can say that because you're not licensed. He said the correction is opportunity. You don't know if it's really at the bottom. You don't know. So you stay in it for the long term, because timing the market is a tough task to do. So he can say like, hey, this is it. And then it goes down even more the next day. So we got to be, if you're in it, seriously consider making smart moves, talking with a licensed financial advisor, joining AfroEconomics, and being in it for the long term, right? But I totally get it, because my industry is full of, like, slogans that love, like, really catchy things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have these rules, and because it makes us look like, yeah, that's it, everything, especially if I were trying to sell you something, and then I could tell you, oh yeah, your account is down miserably, yeah, give me more money. Let's put more in. Like, you know, make you, at least make me convince you of why I know that this is the best time, since I'm telling you to time the market. I'm going to avoid that because I'm going to suggest that we make sure that you invest for your specific investment goal, your time horizon. So for some people, it might be that they love the crypto market because they want alternatives. They want whatever their goal is. And as their investment advisor, it would be to suggest that. If they came to me and exactly what they said was, and their risk tolerance level, and their assets and their emergency fund and everything was intact. And then they were like that, and that came up as an option, then it's an option for them. Some people it's not. Check this out. So I wanted to give an update on mortgages. Mortgage applications are down over 13%. That's the lowest level since December of 2019. And the average interest rate's over 4%. So, of course, refinancing has dropped, dramatically as well. It dropped 15%. That's 56% lower than a year ago on refinance applications. So, things are definitely changing. I was listening to a news report and it was talking about in some areas of the country that you're watching that people, their rent and of the rental prices are up like 50%. Home purchase prices are up dramatically because you still have even though demand is down, there's the supply challenge. If people want to buy, it's going to, catch up with itself. What I worry about is people that are buying overpriced properties.
Mhm.
But, just be careful. Talk to me. Be conscious that, sometimes we have to wait things through. Sometimes we have to wait it out. Some things look good, but they're still not good enough for you to do. Every good opportunity is not good for us because there's a whole bunch of good things every day that I have to pass up because it's not best for me or best for you. It's just good. Good doesn't mean best. That's what I'm gonna make that slogan. Good doesn't mean good for you, right? JD Bryan. They'll be like, so she took that slogan, yeah. Nobody else ever said it. Nobody else ever said it. Good doesn't mean good for you. Not always. So then the S&P 500 down 79 points today. That's down almost 2%. The Dow Jones down over 1%. 400, over 400 points. But that's still, even though the 400 points sounds dramatic, that's only 1.38%. That's like what, not even 1.5%. But it gets all the drama in the world. The Nasdaq though, the Nasdaq down 344, and that's a 2.5% drop. Crude oil prices, up, gold up, and the 10-year treasury up. So these are the things. So if to think about like how does it impact you or what's going on with this? Well, I didn't know that the U.S. buys like $13 billion of crude oil and stuff from Russia. Did you know that? Yeah. But I Googled it. I was like, how much oil do we get from Russia? And it was like almost 13 billion. So they are really supplying some oil to us. So if we're not going to be getting that oil from them, because I guess we're supposed to be thinking that it hurts them more than it hurts us, right? you're like, what? You gonna make my oil prices go up like Theo. But so because we stop buying it from them, they actually lose 13 billion. You know what I mean? From us or whatever, because we're not buying it. But that means we need more from somewhere else, and we've cut down our own production. And so it's all about supply and demand. So where are we? Supply is this, demand is the same or more, and the supply is what? Gone down. So the price what? Adjust higher. Indeed. Indeed. Snoopy D said, never let the futures fool you. she's talking about when the market closed lower. And this morning it said the futures, that it was going to be a good day. They'll say like market futures are up for the day, saying what they expect to happen because Asian markets had a good day yesterday, which was our day. They're like almost a day, ahead. Like they're about to get up. They're probably up in Asia, so you could see. But there's traders that basically have to stay up all night long because they're moving from one market to the other. But the futures said that our U.S. markets were gonna have a good day, and it started off strong, but it ended miserably. So she said, "Never let the futures fool you." I know that's right. Greetings back at you, Cheryl and Frank. So let's look at some of my other talking points I wanted to share. Oh, this I thought was interesting, and I don't exactly know why I thought this, but this is interesting, so I'm gonna share it with you about popularity. And I was thinking about with this war and its impact on Biden, and if what is this doing? What is this going through? Like his approval rating, how is it impacting him politically? So I wanted to share with you something that I thought was interesting, and this might influence some of his decisions going forward. I don't know, but this one's called "How Popular is Joe Biden?" Well, I thought this was interesting because they did him relative. He's in the green to all past presidents. Well, most past presidents or these past presidents. So it has where he is versus Donald Trump. So he's in the green, and his approval rating was higher, but now he's headed on the same track. And if he goes down from here, his approval rating will be lower than Trump's. And then it's currently his approval rating is lower. Can you all understand what I'm showing? It's lower than Obama's. This is Obama's approval rating on this top line, and this is Joe Biden. Can you see that?
Kinda.
The but his approval rating is much less than George Bush, less than Bill Clinton, less than the other George Bush, less than Reagan, less than Jimmy Carter. Isn't that something? Less than Gerald Ford. It's going less. He had him at the beginning. But look, it's less than Nixon. Wow. That's interesting. So they're going to, we'll see, I think that might mean like that that citizens don't like his response to this war. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll go up, but right now it's like approval rating is like at 40%. I guess that means that the majority of people aren't happy. But so how that will influence these decisions going forward, I feel that when a president is under more pressure to get approval, to get people happy, that he might do some things that actually help the market more, like apply some pressure indirectly to the Federal Reserve to not do this interest rate hike in March. But with everything that I'm seeing, it's basically the market has already factored in that the Federal Reserve is going to do an interest rate hike in March, so in the hopes of slowing down inflation. The who are they who are they polling, I wonder? Oh, girls, I don't know. I don't even know. Who is the company? It's called projects.538.com. What if it's like some political group and I don't really know? How you doing, Miss Golightly? So you should know I am totally apolitical. I just support any president that helps move the economy forward. I'm not biased in any way. They help us move forward. We're moving forward together. There was no Fox News hitting 24/7. I don't know what that. Uh, it's simple greed. That's West East. The Look, if y'all would come in the studio, then I could know exactly what you're saying. Look, they got more to say than y'all. What y'all think? He said, it's simple greed. Westies, I hope you feel better. He got a concussion at work. That's terrible. Work injury. It's unimaginable. We're praying. There's stuff going on. So the stocks are struggling in response to how this Russian attack of Ukraine, if it really goes all the way through, if this continues to move forward, how it's going to impact our lives, and also because of the impending tightening from the Federal Reserve of I'm not going to just be pacifying you all anymore. So there's a lot of business tension on basically they've been, corporate America has been spoiled for a long time. And now investors are worried, are they going to be able to bootstrap it like entrepreneurs like me and get this thing going, regardless of the pacifying from the government. So we're hoping that this thing in Ukraine will just be resolved so that we can just, not have that as an issue for us. But it's amazing that America does so much, business and with Russia. So they actually were in position, and I guess that because of all of the international relationships and control that we have over global monetary policy, that they have sanctions over Russian financial institutions and over their debt, as a country. And they said they've also are holding on to money or freezing assets, or I don't know how they're doing it, but it says on key individuals in Russia are being hurt by this. That's kind of spooky. It's something like a movie going on, and we don't know about it. So we are definitely in the middle of what's called a geopolitical environment that we have to see how this is going to play out. And as an investor, it just shows us how important it is that we understand that short-term changes, short-term volatility in the market should not impact your long-term goals. So you don't have to worry about, is this the exact right time? If you're an accumulator, if you're in the accumulation stage, you're constantly investing into the marketplace anyway. So if it's down, you're buying good investments at cheaper prices, period. If it goes back up, then the assets that you've been consistently buying are showing their value to you. So we need to first make sure that you have the proper allocation. So there's people looking at their retirement plans at work and getting concerned, oh my goodness, oh, it's lost, I lost. That's when it's really important to make sure that you're partnered with someone that understands your specific financial goals. Because so many emotional financial decisions are made at times like this. And if you look at it from a research perspective, people make changes, get out, and then they don't know when is the right time to get back in. Like they sell everything, get out, go into something secure, and then they go, but I'll go back in. And then it's hard to know when to go back in. The large percentage of people that get out never go back in because they keep remembering. So they have, if and I have seen research where it shows that people who actually have an advisor do better in performance over the long term, typically because they have someone, partnering with them through these times. So as you all that are my clients, you got the letter yesterday that I sent out, you know what I mean, saying, remember remember your goals, remember your investment policy statement. All of these, things that happen don't specifically, have to impact yours. But if you do want to discuss it, that's where we have to make sure that we communicate one-on-one. That's when you say, hey, I was wondering, hey, I was, that's what your advisor is there to do. Address that concern. Not to say, oh, you know what? That's right. Get out of that. Let's switch it over to this. See, it doesn't have to necessarily be that. But that's the difference between working with a salesperson and working with an advisor. So be very careful and make sure that even if you do and you call and then they said, yeah, get out, you have to ask them, well, why was it appropriate 2 months ago, but it's not now? Like, what has changed about what we chose? Because my goals are still the same. If you change and you're just terrified, that's different. But you should think through, did I at least address this? Like in the risk analysis, an algorithm and software that I give you, it shows you these scenarios because it's real. What would you do if this happens? It's real. It's a help, but it's not real until it's really real, right? Till you really see. You're like, yeah, like that's fun until it's like your account that's going down, right? There are some things that I pointed out when I was saying about things that were up. Did you notice I was saying that and then also I should point out that crypto is having an extremely hard time. Experienced a significant drop. And a lot of it is because recently, like yesterday, China said that you got to get out and any cryptocurrency in my country is illegal. Tesla said you cannot pay for their products using Bitcoin anymore. And they had just recently said, okay, we'll let you. And then they said, nah, no, you can't. And China said, no way. And I mean it. And warned against it. So they're really getting mad. So China is saying that China really clamping down on this and ordered that Bitcoin mining be shut down completely. And top banks in China were ordered to stop doing crypto transactions. So being that we're in a global economy now, you can see how that impacted investors here, not just investors in crypto in China. It's everywhere. This is global. So they effectively banned digital coins after announcing all transactions of cryptocurrencies are illegal in their country. So, if you have assets in that area, make sure that you talk, with me. I found like that crypto, according to research, it says that a lot of our community is investing in cryptocurrencies. So I'll see that like in their marketing material and everything, a lot of times they'll use, Black people. So what I, wonder is like why Black people aren't asking me about it. I think like this is what I hear all the time. They go, I got some, but it's not any important. So, it doesn't really matter. I just got a couple thousand or I just got a so and so. Like, how do you decide that what you invest with me in my investment portfolios and stocks, it matters, but whatever else you do, it really doesn't matter? Just like, when people, when they have a rental property, they don't want to, talk to me about that. It's still your investment. Every dime that you have matters to me. And it needs to be looked at as a clear part of your assets. So if you have those assets, we need to be looking at it. I don't think that we should feel comfortable wasting one dime on anything. Oh, you are so good. This person has known me and been my client for almost 30 years. So she's exactly. That's a blessing. She is truly blessed. Amen. Young and retired. Concussion and all I still have to, and I still have to work. You never trusted any advisor, only you. Oh, that's so good. And no crypto and no Bitcoin. Talk about it for you. And but I think that there are always opportunities out there. But I think that sometimes we think we found out about something secret and that so I'm gonna not, say anything. And then afterwards it costs you because you're protected. Like you have access to protection and you just didn't take advantage of the protection that you have. Like that's why it's so important, for example, even more important than the little stuff you do is like that when you have some investments and you go, well, that's just a CD. That doesn't matter. It really does matter because in many cases, people are doing investments of large amounts of money, but you're not even outpacing inflation. So if I'm putting this money and I'm sitting it in the CD, but I'm trying to figure out how to increase my income and prepare for retirement, think about it. You're getting, say you're getting a 1% return after taxes, and inflation is now near 7%. You're just losing money in something that you think is secure. It's bad enough, like, because your real return, our real return is your investment return. Well, I mean, whatever interest rate or dividend or whatever you made, minus taxes, minus inflation. That's your real return. So we have this challenge now in these high inflationary times, how to make sure that our investments are outpacing inflation. So you got to understand real return. So you got the statement, like, and you're all excited, you know what I mean? Because it's higher, but you're not poised to continue to outpace inflation. And I'm talking about a young person. Because for retired people who already have their assets, they really have a serious challenge because they don't have the time to take that risk. So they're not trying to take that kind of risk. So they'll have a smaller portion of their money that's exposed to growth opportunities. And the largest part of their money, they're trying to create income from it now. So interest, so but it makes it more fun and it makes it more important. It's kind of like your money is just like your body, just like your health. People get older and they stop taking care of themselves. They just let themselves go. I'm too old to be worried about walking every day. I ain't gonna worry about that. Shoot, I'm gonna get that pizza. I might die anyway. That you are gonna die. We're going to die. We're all going to die. We're talking about quality of life. That's what we're talking about. So you want to be able to walk around the house? So the older that we get, the more conscious we should get that every dime matters. But what happens is people just get sloppy as they get older and they go, I'm just going to the casino. And they just waste the money. You know how much money you just wasted up in there? Going to the casino was like just, and then you go to the casino and then you have two challenges because you just sit. And then some of them allow people to smoke, and then you might be drinking, and then you might, so now you have the health and the money problem. I don't care how convenient they make the casinos to us, because if they ain't gonna be happy till they put them right in our neighborhood. They want it right there. They don't want you to have to drive far to get to it. Right. You know what I'm saying? They want to get you right there. But it's like, what are we gonna do after we realize that we have entertained ourselves to brokenness? So when I sit and I talk about Russia and the market being down and correction and this and that, that's the least of my really worries for you. My worry is your life habits and how you protect your money. Because when you are wise and you got your mind right, you're not going to get upset about this market. But when your mind is not right and you're not eating right and you lose rational decision making skills. So you start getting anxiety about things that you shouldn't be worried about because you've set up things correctly. So when we're not taking care of ourselves, they impact us on so many levels financially that you think what's that got to do with that? But it has everything to do with that. Everything to do with that. You can't even understand what I'm talking about when we're not taking care of ourselves. You don't even want to hear the discussion. Well, I don't want to talk about inflation. I don't even know what they're talking about. Well, then ask, what is inflation? Well, inflation is when the price of our daily goods and services are going up, or the rate that they're going up. And now it is at historic highs. It's coming up. Things cost a lot. So when you think you going and the groceries cost a lot, that's for real. The grocery costs are up. Oil prices are now coming up. So if prices are already up for groceries, now if the oil prices come up, what's going to happen to the grocery prices? Because the truckers are going to have to pay more. Plus, they're doing that convoy across the country. They're going to waste a lot of gas. Look, y'all wasting that gas. The pandemic is over. You won. Okay? We're going to get the mask off anyway. You heard about that? The truckers doing this thing about they're taking their rights by making people wear a mask. So they're just we're driving for our freedoms. I'm like, you better drive to bring me some celery or something. Oh my goodness. But I know that, like CDC said, the mask mandate is going to be changing. That's going to be changing. It's going. But the gas prices for our drivers going up means the cost of bringing it to you is going to go up. So the price that you pay to get it is going to go up. As if it's not enough, it's already enough. So I have in my notes, people are getting worried about inflation continuing to rise faster. The University of Michigan survey said it has jumped to over 5%. And I believe that gold price movement is because gold has been viewed historically as an inflation hedge. And I also think that there have been so many distracting things to invest in. Like before crypto got hot, the alternative investment, remember, it was it was gold. You know what I mean? The metals and everything. Like now, crypto is like not as hot. So I see, you know what I mean, the demand and the price for gold going up. But it's also because it's often used as an inflation hedge because it is a real item. So, but things like real estate can also be seen as an inflation hedge. But also, the stock market in general is also historically been the best at outpacing inflation over the long term. So, when we're thinking about inflation, really the thing that wins is being able to be invested for a long period of time when it comes to stocks, when it comes to the investment, to equities. But definitely there are opportunities now because the challenge with gold has been like, what are you gonna do with it? Gold chain, you can put it in the house or whatever. So now we can do gold, we have gold ETFs and things like that. So it's easier for me to put it into a client's portfolio if they want it or if it's, appropriate for them. Yeah. So definitely that's, an interesting thing for us to keep an eye on it. And then I also had, and then we talked about Tesla did a U-turn on accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. And I also want to, um, I want to make sure that we take a moment to look at something. I thought this was interesting. Y'all gonna be like, she went out there on left field on this, but I think this is great. There's a study, and this is the Institute for Family Studies, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna share it with you, and it says all about empowerment. Institute for Family Studies, and it said that financial stress can help relationships flourish. And it found that, even for single people, low income, that the financial stress of COVID actually helped in key areas like co-parenting. Can and that the financial stress of COVID actually helped people, be more committed, make better decisions about their relationships and take their relationships more seriously. And it started with a study of high income individuals after and during the Great Recession in 2008, 2009. If you go to this article, financial stress can help relationships flourish. But it's, interesting that that and it just says recent research suggests that under some circumstances, financial stressors can lead couples to thrive, not just in spite of financial stressors, but because, isn't that something? Of the financial stress. And then for all couples experiencing financial stress, it seems that enacting relationship maintenance behaviors makes the difference between relationships being scorched, like burned in, or relationships being transformed. So relationship management behaviors came on point during COVID. And that people who were parenting, like especially you pointed out that in the that became on point with co-parenting because the kids were like stuck. Um, I don't know, Star. The kids were stuck and they couldn't go to school. Remember? So people who before like might not have been getting along actually, you know what I mean, needed each other and said, okay, I will work, we can work together on this. And it really benefited their relationship, even if they, weren't like they weren't married, but they were just raising these children together. So financial stress can help relationships flourish. Doesn't have to just be seen as man and wife. It can be people that have any relationship of any sort. And it said most of the co-parenting benefits came from the Black communities that were hit the hardest by the financial stress of COVID. So it has actually, isn't that something? It has actually helped many of our families work together because of this financial stress. So, and then something good can come out of anything. And to see that, I'm glad that they're currently doing that. I'm just glad because there was a lot of research about families falling apart and stuff like that. When COVID first started, but it's good to see something positive that it's not about like the marriage but about relationships with each other and helping each other. And it did point out that the Black community is not marrying as much, but we are, we still have the relationships and the co-parenting and the living together, and those have still flourished through COVID. Isn't that something? So that's good. Did anything we discussed make you ladies think like, oh, that's good? Oh, didn't think about that. Anything stand out?
No.
Do you feel like this is as we get to the end of year 2 and head to our third year, do you feel that it's been wearing on us as the world as a people that this has been a lot, and then now this. I think one relief I know, especially for me as a financial advisor, has been that okay, at least the market is going okay. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and now with this happening, I think that I have to make sure that I do exactly what I'm advising my clients to do. You know what I mean? Trust that I have, helped everyone manage their risk correctly and, talk, all of us through it and continue to stay focused on everybody's unique financial goal. And know also that a lot of times when I get an inquiry, sometimes I think instantly like the client is afraid or they want, you know what I mean? They want to get out or, they're afraid. But I have to remember, no, they just really just want to know the answer. They just want a question. They just want to answer the question. It doesn't mean that it has to require some sort of, you know what I mean? I'm unhappy. Generally, most of the inquiries, and I have to remind myself, are just because they want to know. That's it. Not because, oh, no. I know I told you I'm retiring in 5 years, but I'm retiring tomorrow. No, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but that could be it. And that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm just out. Because that is starting to happen. People who said, I can wait. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do it down the road, have changed their mind. So it could be it, but just know that when you make short, instant shifts like that, it's hard on your goals because you're changing your mind. So all of our decisions have been based on you have more time. Now, all of a sudden, if you know what I mean, cut your, and you go, oh, I'm doing it next month. And you said you were, doing it 5 years from now. You have to, realize that That wasn't in the plan. Even though it can be easily adjusted, it wasn't in the plan. So we have to start over.
JB,
Yes.
I think that, I talk about having a financial advisor and where we are now, because you're the first financial advisor that we've had. But I think that with this volatility in the market and the way that we're positioned, and the conversations that we've had in between, and the fact that that we're retired and we protected some of our money, and it was almost like we're positioned to endure the volatility. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Because we recognize that
Amen.
we're in it for a longer period of time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I
That's
think
right.
that, and it's so interesting. It seems that my husband and I have changed positions, because it usually is him trying to talk me off the ledge. Now I'm talking him off the ledge. But and just to remind him of what those conversations between us were,
That's right.
and how we're positioned, and we can wait this out.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it's mostly because of the time you've invested in understanding. A lot of people don't give themselves time to understand. So, you know what I'm saying? So when it's like, oh, I don't have the slightest idea, you know what I mean, what I'm doing. And there's a whole millions of people like that. So if you don't know exactly what you have, the chances of you making a rash move is so much higher because you don't know, but because you know what you have and where it is, and taking the time, that takes time. That's work. To me, with me, a lot of people like meeting with me is like the last thing they want to do. So that or taking time out on a Wednesday night and listening to this, they don't care about that. So when they wake up and they see the news, they never saw like average people having a discussion. Like we're talking about inflation, we're talking about interest rates, we're talking about crypto, but because it's what I mean, we're talking about gas price, we're talking about bonds, we're talking about stock price. All of that we have talked about in average regular English. Just like, you know what I'm saying? And that's empowerment. That's empowerment. And if the only time you hear it discussed is from a news report from somebody who's not even licensed, you're doing yourself a disservice. And that's what most people get. And they go, oh, and they call, and there's a movement towards pulling people away because financial institutions make more money by you not having an advisor. So if they can get away and they can get you to just talk to the machine, and then you get hooked up with the machine, and then they can blame it on the machine. They're like, what? You need to talk to one of our advisors. And then they charge you even more. So you've been paying the machine. Now you're going to pay the advisor and the machine. And you know what I'm saying? And they got paid for the entire process. But that's where we are unless you get a great understanding of what's going on. Like I told this young man that's been my mentor, but for years, I've known him since he was in high school, and he was like the intern at the investment firm where I started, and we still, all these years later, still talk to each other. And he was asking me about advisory fees, and I said, well, what you got to understand, and he's an attorney. I was like, is that the advisory fees are not all. Many people get paid from the product. I don't. My firm is not structured from that. I only do the advisory fees. But most companies are getting paid from the product and from the fee that you're paying. So that we are, so if they say, oh, the advisory fee is this, most of the time they're not giving you the whole story. The people don't have, they're not going to, unfortunately, they're not going to offer it up. Oh, yeah, that mutual fund I'll put you in has a 2.5% charge. So you paying, the fee plus the mutual fund fee. So, You might think you're only paying 1.5% advisory fee, but when the product is included, you're all the way up to 4%. I've seen it. So just be aware that it's worth it to take the time and break it down piece by piece. Oh, ultra conservative shows. What you doing listening to them? I'm gonna talk. Paula's Universe says she listened to ultra conservative shows. That's how I'm gonna start. I think that's red alert right there. It's called Set It and Forget It. Snoopy D. That's right. That's what the machines do. Just set it and forget it. Put your money like you're a rotisserie chicken. Remember that rotisserie chicken thing? Set it and forget it. Everybody had, that's the air fryer. Isn't that funny? We have like something for each generation. There was a George Foreman, then there was the rotisserie, set it, forget it. Now we got the air fryer, like is the thing now. Everybody, oh, my air fryer. Well, be careful with every dime, even the money that we spend on appliances, right? Be careful. My daddy, Paula's Universe says, here she go. Paula's Universe said, my daddy taught me to listen to what they really think. What'd you say? She said, taught me to listen to what they really think about us. Oh my goodness. Listen, how would you know? How would we know? I try to give that as little thought as possible. Because I can't figure out what here, Paula. What someone thinks of me is none of my business. Exactly. And I'm not going to ask them. You like me? Don't ask. Let's just assume they do. Everybody loves. So Friday we have our members only meeting, and then in the morning, and then Friday afternoon we'll have the business network, AfroEconomics Business Network, and I want to talk about Black ownership in the sports. And they have some people that are speculating buying the NFL team. So as entrepreneurs and the network, I want us to talk about the importance of ownership, how much money a person purchasing a football team would need, but let's just continue our case studies and continue thinking, because that is going to be interesting if the Denver Broncos team ownership does go to a Black owner. So you'll get more info on that for Friday. And then our Sunday is Sunrise as well. I think my topic for Sunday is going to be Kanye West's mother. I was been watching his documentary. So inspiring that young man followed Kanye for 20 years. It's amazing. I mean, see the work ethic and the commitment, but his mother made this quote to him, and she said, Kanye, when a giant looks in the mirror, he sees nothing. And I just want us to meditate on that. Dante, her name was Donda, I think it's Donda West. But it says, when a giant looks in the mirror, he sees nothing. And she explains that, that you can be, you can accomplish a lot. You can be the best at what you do, but you still have to keep your feet on solid ground, and then also I see it as, it's interesting. I want to get y'all feedback though. I see that as there's no power in you seeing yourself as a big deal. There's power in humility, but not really power. You know what I mean? And so it's more important to be a giant to those you serve than to be a giant to yourself, and to do your service, and that's it. So I want to, see if God continues to help me grow through that in scripture on that. But so that'll be Sunday. But thank you all for taking your time out tonight. This was a wonderful Wednesday, AfroEconomics Live. Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Thank you, Star. You all have been fantastic. Your prize tonight is lots of love and many blessings from God.
Right back at you.
Amen. May God continue to
Back
bless
at
you.
you.
Amen. Right back at you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your comments. We got lots of streaming tonight. Please share this with your friends. Please subscribe. Please click like. And remember, empowerment is everything. Knowledge is power.